Chapter 1. The Crises of Leading Change. Failures of Nerve and Failures of Heart. The battles the Greek heroes had to fight were against their enemies. The battles their Jewish counterparts had to fight were against themselves, their fears, their hesitations, their sense of unworthiness. Jonathan Sacks. I believe there exists throughout America today a rampant sabotaging of leaders who try to stand tall amid the raging anxiety storms of our time. Whenever a group is driven by anxiety, what will also always be present is a failure of nerve among its leaders. Edmund H. Friedman. Tod, give us your pitch. Treat us as if we are the people who you would ask to fund this if it was a new startup company. I smiled broadly. Glad to do so, I said, as I forwarded the PowerPoint presentation to the first slide. I was in a conference room provided by a law office, meeting with a group of Silicon Valley venture capitalists on a famous street in Palo Alto, California. We were there to discuss a change initiative I had been tasked to spearhead at the seminary where I am a senior administrator. They were not there to fund the initiative, but to give me feedback on it using their expertise as venture capitalists and philanthropists. As I took a deep breath to launch into my presentation, a former McKinsey consultant interrupted. "Sorry," he said. "Before you start, just tell us who this new service is supposed to help. Who's your target customer, as it were?" We all chuckled. Seminaries, churches, and Christian nonprofits don't often refer to the people we serve as customers. But I got the point. "No problem," I said. Fuller Seminary wants to serve ministry leaders and pastors who want to grow as spiritual leaders and help the people in their churches and organizations grow spiritually, but don't necessarily need the expense or commitment of graduate-level education. There were nods all around the room, so I began. 12 minutes later, I finished my presentation. I could see smiles around the room as if they were sharing an inside joke. The former McKinsey consultant said, "You have been doing that presentation a lot around the seminary, haven't you?" "Yes," I responded. "Faculty groups, senior administrators, staff groups from which I'm trying to recruit people to my team." "Why?" "Because your presentation didn't tell us why this would help ministry leaders, but why this was a good strategy for the school. You gave us a pitch that tried to sell us on how your plan would help the seminary, not how the seminary would better serve the church or make a difference in the world." I could feel my face flush with embarrassment. They were kind, but I knew that a glaring blind spot had been revealed. I also realized how thoroughly I had been influenced by my institutional context and the worries of my colleagues. Only 3 years earlier, I had been brought to the seminary as both a former alum with 2 degrees and as an outsider who had spent the past 25 years as the pastor of a congregation, leadership consultant, and executive coach. I was supposed to be the voice of the church, speaking into and shaping the academic environment in a more formative direction. And while, in my presentation, I had used the language of making an impact on the greater church, I had defaulted, almost unconsciously, to what would help our institution, and not what would truly help our institution serve the real needs of people. Back to the conference room in Silicon Valley. The most senior leader in the room spoke up next. "Tod, look, there is only really one thing that matters if you are going to try to lead something innovative. Does it fix a real problem?" He continued, "Can you tell us what pain point in the world or the church your seminary's new project would be trying to address?"